Ruchim Habayim, welcome friends. Once again, I'm back with another study in Parsha Pekudei. And at the very end of Parsha Pekudei, in our Torah, at the end of Shemos, we come to where Moshe Rabbeinu has completed building the Mishkan. It's completely finished, and we read in chapter 40, verse 30 in the book of Shemos. It says here, he erected the courtyard all around the tabernacle and the altar, and he emplaced the curtain of the gate of the courtyard. So Moshe completed the work. Now, if we go to the Hebrew, it's the words are very particular here. It says, Es hechatzer saviv la mishkan ve la mizbeach biten es masach sha'ar hechatzer, and it says Vaychol Moshe es hamalacha. So Moshe completed the work. So the words are Vaychol Moshe es hamalacha. And what's interesting about these letters here, Vaychol, is in our previous parsha we have lettering very similar to this. Our previous parsha before Pekudei is Vayichel. Here it says Vayichal, which means Moshe completed all the work. And it goes on, and it says in verse 35, Moshe could not enter the tent of meeting, for the cloud rested upon it, and the glory of Hashem filled the tabernacle. So we come to the Hebrew here, and it says in verse 35, Velo Yachol. So this here, Moshe could not. Velo Yachol Moshe. These letters here are almost similar to Vaychol. He completed. Now it says he could not, Moshe, enter Lavo El Ohel Moed. And then it says Ki Shachan Alav He'anan. It says here that the cloud rested upon it, and Hashem filled the Mishkan. Okay, so the cloud filled the Mishkan. And just going back to Velo Yachol, well, it's interesting that Moshe completed the work. And then on Friday nights, when we do Kiddush, when we open Shabbat, we actually say, here in the text, it says, we do this after the candle lighting. We take part in the wine and the challah, and we say Vayhi Erev Vayhi Voker, and we say Yom Hashishi, the sixth day, Vayichulu. Thus we're finished Hashemayim Va'aretz. So we see Vayichulu, we're completed. That Hashem in 6 days he completed his work, and we see that Moshe completed his work. It's very similar to the wording of Vayichulu, Vayichol, Moshe. And so back in Bereshit, we read on Friday night about the completion of the 6 days when we come into Shabbat. And this is a verse from Bereshit. So just like the sages say that the Mishkan is a microcosm of the universe, so that like Hashem, he completed all his work. It's like Moshe is completing all the work on earth. And so it goes on and it says, but after he completed building the Mishkan, it says, but Lo Yachol, Moshe could not enter the tent of meeting. And then it says, Ki Shachan Alav He'anan. And it says the cloud filled Hashem, the presence filled the Mishkan. But what's particular about these four words is the last letter of each word spells Yud, Nun, Vav, Nun, which is Yanon. Yanon. And what's interesting about Yanon is we read about this in actually Psalm 72, verse 17. And sorry if I'm moving around a lot here. It's just holding the camera. But it says, may his name be eternal, It says in the Hebrew, Yehi Shamo Leolam Lifnei Shemesh Yenon Shimon Yisparchu Vo. It says, Yehi Shemo, may his name be eternal. With the sun that lasts, may his name endure forever. Yehi Shemo. Many say Yeshu, or some say Yeshu, and which some say is an abbreviation to mean Yamach Shemo, may his name be blotted out. But really, I say Yehi Shemo, may his name endure forever. And Yenon, the sages say Yenon is actually another word for the Mashiach. For as the sun lasts, may his name endure. And so even the Midrash goes into Yenon. It says here in Midrash Tankuma, the name of Mashiach is stated, may his name endure forever, for as long as the sun, Shemesh Lifnei, may his name be perpetuated. And it says here, in the days of Mashiach, the four-letter name of God will be so familiar that also Mashiach will be called by the name of the Holy One, blessed is he, Lifnei Shemesh, which can also mean before the sun. That is, before the world was created, the name of Mashiach was not called by the four-letter name, but Yenon was his name. This name alludes to the four-letter name. Yenon has in it a Yud and a Vav and two Nuns, and which represent the two Hays in the four-letter name, meaning the two Nuns. When you remove the two Nuns, it can be replaced with the Yud and the Hay, which becomes Yud K Vav K. Now, many may misinterpret what that means, and I'll explain in a minute. But going back to how Moshe completed the work in the Mishkan, he was not allowed to enter in. But you see, Moshe, through the wilderness, he was on a mission, and he built the Mishkan, which the Mishkan is also a microcosm of us, of the human being. And we are to work on our vessel. But you see, Moshe completed the work. This is Moshe completed the work. I have here written down Yochanan 14:3, and it's interesting because the Talmudim asked Yeshua, "Where are you going?" And he says, "I'm going to a place that you cannot come right now. I go to prepare a place for you." And many people may think, oh, like Jesus is up there in heaven building a mansion for us or this and that, but it's deeper than that. It's us that we have to do the work through our mitzvot, through our mind, uh, working on our midos. That's what actually prepares the place, and Mashiach within us helps us do that. And you see, we prepare the place of where we're going into the next world. You see, Moshe could not enter, but Hashem was pleased with him. We see we're going to go in. Next is the book of Vayikra. In Vayikra, it says that Moshe could not enter. And you see, Moshe was humble. See, we begin with Vayikra, with the small aleph. And it represents Moshe making himself small so that Hashem may increase. Sounds familiar. I must decrease, but he must increase. So this is why the Hashem's presence filled the Mishkan. But after Moshe, Hashem says to Moshe, he says, Vayikra, he whispers to Moshe, El Moshe, V'daber Hashem Elav, Moed Lemor. He called to Moshe. Hashem spoke to him from the tent of meeting, saying. And so right here we see that now Hashem is offering Moshe to draw close, to come near, to come in to his presence. You see, so Moshe did the work. He prepared the place and understood that it was all Hashem. And now we're invited. In Vayikra, we talk about the Kohanim. We are now the kings and priests, and we are to walk holy so that we can be in the presence of Hashem. And just going on, I've been studying this book of Shomer Emunim, and it says here in just the footnotes here, the Mashiach is distinguished and abstracted in his level and strength above all creations, even above the supernal levels, This is, as our sages say, he will be elevated above the level of Abraham, raised above Moshe, high above the angels. Just as Yud K Vav K is abstracted from everything, similarly the Mashiach is abstracted even over the supernal levels, abstracted from everything. Therefore, his name Yud K Vav K applies to him. Now, many may think, oh, this means Mashiach is God. That's not really what it means, and it's quick. It's easy to assume that. It's easy to get this. Error of thinking, because it looks as if, even when we read the gospels, this is why many Christians think that Yeshua is God, because they don't understand this is a deep concept. But in Judaism we say the messenger is like the one who sent them. You see, the Mashiach is just a vessel which Hashem works through, but it doesn't mean the vessel is God. So it's it's difficult to understand, and this is why many, many error and think that Yeshua is God. And it's really, we can't be so hard on people thinking this way, because it takes a lot of study and deep concepts to understand this. But I just wanted to share this from the Parsha Pekudei, and there's many more concepts, amazing concepts of in this book of Shomer Emunim about the Mashiach, very deep, and even how Mashiach is even above the level of Moshe. This is from the sages, not from what I'm saying, but amazing stuff here. And so I just wanted to share that in Parsha Pekudei. May you all be blessed and continue to study. Chazak, chazak, v'nis chaseach. Be strong, and may we be strengthened.